So hello everyone, good morning once again. For those who are their first time here, kindly rename yourselves, and those who are not familiar, I am Sakina Tan, Program Director of MedTech Innovator Asia Pacific, and we have with us today a few of our team members who I'll shortly introduce. So this is our fifth and second last online pitch event in the Asia Road Tour on digital health, SaaS, mental health, mobile health, mHealth, telemedicine, and wellness. So once again, those who have not yet renamed themselves, please do so. And I'll take this chance now to introduce some of our team members who you will be seeing throughout this online pitch event. So first we have our flight controller, who's Ellie. So Ellie, would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Ali Zimnak. I will be managing putting everyone into breakout rooms today. So if you find yourself in the wrong breakout room, just come back to the main room and I will help you out. Looking forward to today's event.
Thank you. And Clarissa?
Hi everyone, I'm Clarissa. So I'll be situated in the networking room, so the startups can find me there. And if anyone has any issues with the links such as Kobo forms or the YouTube Live or the bio book, you can come to me as well.
Thank you. So for next, I'll pass it over to our Managing Director for Asia Pacific, Frederick, and he'll then pass it over to Paul. So Frederick, feel free to take it away.
Great, thanks. Thanks very much, Sakina, and very good morning to everyone joining us here in Asia Pacific, and a good evening to those of you dialing in from the US. I think we have at least one company presenting from the US this morning. My name is Frederick Nabek. I'm the Managing Director at MedTech Innovator Asia Pacific. I'm based here in Singapore with Clarissa and with Sakina. And welcome again to our fifth Asia Pacific online pitch event this year. Today's theme is digital health, software as a service, mHealth, telemedicine, and wellness technologies and domains related to those areas. In a minute, Paul will tell you more about today's event, but let me just remind everyone that we are soon coming to an end, how time flies, soon coming to an end of our series of 6 pitch events this year. Our next and final pitch event will be on the 11th of May, and we will focus on next-gen surgical, critical care, and ophthalmology innovations and technologies. So you don't want to miss that. Let me also extend a special welcome to all of our non-sponsoring judges that are with us today. I believe we have at least 35 judges on our panel. And we have a number of investors and senior industry executives who, again, are judging today for the very first time. So you want to pay special attention to Paul's briefing for our judges a little bit later on. So I wanted to thank all of you for joining. We have a very exciting morning ahead of us. So without further ado, let me hand over to MedTech Innovator CEO, Paul Grant. Paul.
Hey, thank you, Frederick. Great to see everybody, as always here. It always makes me smile when I look out in the room and see all the faces of those in the MedTech Innovator ecosystem. I'm Paul Grant. I'm the CEO of MedTech Innovator. So for those of you who are joining us for the first time, whether you're on YouTube or here in our Zoom, whether you're one of our pitch companies or one of our judges, welcome. Great to have you here. MedTech Innovator is first and foremost a family. We like to always say you're part of the MedTech Innovator family once you're one of our partners or one of the companies in our program. We are, as you'll find out, a very special and kind of a unique program, and I'm going to tell you all about that. So let me start off again by just running you quickly through who MedTech Innovator is, who I am, what we're all doing here. I'm just going to run through this quickly. But as I mentioned, I'm Paul Grant. I'm the CEO of MedTech Innovator. You see our QR code there in the corner. If you want to scan that, you can find all of our fun social tags for MedTech Innovator. You can take pictures today, share them. We love that. MedTech Innovator is an accelerator. But we're very different than most accelerators. We're not a regionally focused program in terms of one particular city or one particular country. We are global. And we are a nonprofit. We're entirely focused on finding the world's best startups and scale-ups and connecting them with the world's best ecosystem for support. I like to say a lot that we're trying to find the companies that really have the promise to be successful and to be the leading companies in our industry and make sure they don't make mistakes along the way. And we're joined by some pretty incredible people in that mission. What you see here in this slide are the graduates of our 2019 program. This is the last time we were actually on a stage. Last year, obviously, because of the pandemic, we were virtual. But these are all companies from all across Asia Pacific who are graduating from our 2019 program. I'm going to tell you a little more about the program now. So in terms of some of our history and statistics, one of the things that I'm most proud of are the products that have come to market. We have 77 products that are now on the market from our portfolio, 340 companies that are part of our alumni. And the thing that's so amazing about that is these are high-performing companies. They've gone on to raise over $2.7 billion in follow-on funding. We're now at a pace where our companies are closing approximately 3 funding rounds per week. And that may be increasing to 4 rounds per week shortly. So that is a huge number of fundings happening in our portfolio. And as one of our companies in our ecosystem, that means you have access to all these incredible peers all over the world who have access to investors, to capital, to resources. And that's really ultimately what we're trying to do here, is provide the world's best ecosystem. A couple other little highlights from this slide. This is our 9th year in operation, so we've been doing this for quite some time. And our acquisitions are starting to mount as well. That number is going up. We've had 14 so far, and I expect to see quite a bit more in the near term. So we're here as part of an evaluation process. You're going to hear a little more about our overall pipeline and how this is working. But for those of you who are pitching today, and for those of you who are judging for the first time, if there's a few of you in that category, we look at startups and scale-ups in 3 categories: value, execution, and momentum. Value is reasonably self-explanatory. Execution, we're looking to make sure that you've got the resources to execute on your plan. We want to look a little bit at the kinds of milestones you're accomplishing. We want to look at your pathway to market, your go-to-market strategy. So as you're talking today to our judges, not just in the 1-minute pitches that are going to be coming up shortly, but in the breakout rooms, today is really an evaluation process. We're trying to decide which of the companies that are pitching that we want to advance into our accelerator program. And these are the ways we're going to be doing that. So when I talk about some of the things that you see on the slide, for those of you who are presenting today, take note of this, because obviously you're not going to cover every single thing on these slides. But when I call out some things like go-to-market strategy, we want to know what your plan is to go to the market. We want to know what your business model is. If it's not in your slide deck, please be prepared to talk about it. Our partners are here today to evaluate you and to see if you might be a good fit for them as corporate mentors. And that means that it's very important that you're able to take the time to do your presentation thoughtfully, but quickly, so they can ask questions and cover some of these big areas. The momentum one is very important too. We want to make sure that you're at a stage where you're able to achieve milestones that are going to be meaningful. And it doesn't mean you have to complete them during the program, but it does mean that we want to know what your milestones are that are coming up. So what are some of the key things that are going to be important that we're going to be able to help you with in the near term? Now, I mentioned before, this is kind of an overall roadmap. So we had 500 plus companies that applied this year to be part of the program. And we've invited about a little over 10% of them to pitch. So 60 companies in total. You're going to see 11 of the companies today. Out of those, we're going to pick 20 who will be part of our 2021 accelerator. We're going to choose all the companies to participate. They'll be in a program for mentorship and support. And at the end of that program, we're going to pick 5 to advance to our finals competition, which we'll tell you more about later. There'll be 1 grand prize winner of US $150,000. There'll be a number of additional prizes as well. So in total, there'll be $300,000 worth of prize value this year. Now, importantly, one of the things that you need to understand is that these are a series of pitch events. So today is number 5 out of 6, and we're almost done. So after today, we got one more to go. And then we're going to meet with all of the partners who've been part of this process. We're going to discuss all the companies. We're going to choose some to be part of our accelerator in the end of May. And then we're going to launch the program in mid-June. This is a program that runs June, July, August, and September. At the end of September, you'll all be getting together virtually, most likely, for the MedTech Innovator Asia Pacific Showcase and Competition at the Asia Pacific MedTech Forum. Now that will be held in Singapore, and there will be some form of a hybrid event, but I believe it won't be something that you want to be traveling to. We'll talk more about that later, but the point is it's part of the Asia Pacific MedTech Forum, which is an event that APAC Med has been running now for many years. You'll learn more about APAC Med later. It's our partner organization. It's a complement to what we're doing here at MedTech Innovator. It's an industry association where you'll get a chance to network with a lot of the leaders in our field. This is a picture of the MedTech Forum from a couple of years ago, where we have a showcase, usually in person, in front of people. Now it'll be online. And you also see the competition down there on the bottom of the slide. So this is where our companies get to showcase to the leadership of the medtech industry. These are the large companies, many of whom are represented today in this pitch event. And then also you'll see them here on the stage over here. Again, we'll have this competition virtually. The good news is there'll be a lot more people there because they're attending virtually. And that's one of the benefits of doing this in a virtual environment. I mentioned that this is the second to last stop on this road tour. You can see the other stops we've had so far. We've been grouping companies generally in a thematic way this year. Usually it's regional and we travel around to different countries. This year we're doing it more on a thematic basis. But you can see we've chosen to cover a lot of the main areas that would be interesting in the Asia Pacific market or even globally. And again, tonight we're focusing on digital health, SaaS applications, mHealth, telemedicine, wellness, and maybe a couple other little categories thrown in as well. So this is our schedule. Next week will be the last one, in 2 weeks. And that will be focused on next generation surgical, ophthalmology, and critical care. Now, I've mentioned before that MedTech Innovator is a global accelerator. Our Asia Pacific program has a specific set of partners. You see them here on the screen. The most important thing about our partners is they are not just our partners in terms of funding. These people are here interacting with you, the companies that are presenting. They're going to be mentoring you during our program. This is a chance to work with some of the world's leaders in medical innovation who will help you make your products better. At the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do, is take products and companies that we think really could be successful and make sure you're better. So you're going to have a chance to meet pretty much all the companies that you see on the slide here today in our various sessions. Let me give you a quick list of all the people who are going to be judging. I don't expect you to write all these down or take any notes. We have a bio book that will be pasted into the chat here today, and you'll have a chance to meet all of these companies during the pitch event in one way or another. So whether you're pitching directly to them in a breakout room or whether you're going to be meeting with them shortly in the 1-minute pitches, there'll be an opportunity to present to all of these people. Some of them are from our partners. Some of them are from investment firms. Some of them are from service providers in the industry. Everyone here is highly curated specifically to add value to our startup companies. So even if we don't select you to advance after today's event, the important thing is that you've had a chance to present to strategics, to investors, and to some of the leading service providers in our industry across Asia Pacific. So the bio book will have contact information and information in terms of biographies on all of the people you see here on the screen, as well as all the other presenters today. Now, I've mentioned this before. One of the exciting things about this format is that all of the companies are going to have detailed time in breakout rooms to meet with partners and to meet with investors. And it's important for you to understand that for the most part, the people you're going to be meeting with are all people who asked to meet with you. So we gave everybody a list. We said, here's the 11 companies that are going to be presenting today. Please tell us which ones you want to meet with the most, followed by a second tier, or ones that aren't in your area of interest. And we did our best, I think 99% of the time, to match people up with the companies that they wanted to meet with. So you startups are going to be meeting with people who wanted to meet with you. But because we wanted to have an opportunity for all of our judges to see all of the companies, we do this lightning round. So we're going to go through and we're going to give each of the companies 1 minute to present their company and their technology. There's going to be a little timer in the corner, which I will tell you about in a moment. You can see here, if you look on the slide, that our companies are presenting today from all across the world, the majority of which are coming from the Asia Pacific region. So we have companies from Singapore, from the US, from Australia, from India, and from Indonesia as well. So we got great coverage, companies from all over the place, and also companies in different thematic areas. And as I mentioned, each one's going to get 1 minute to present to you. So if you look over in the list, you're going to see it's, I'm going to do this alphabetically. So we're going to go through each company. Each company is going to have 1 minute to do their presentation. If you are the presenting company, I'd encourage you to look into the corner of the slides. Somewhere in one of the corners will be a countdown timer. You see this one says 1 minute. I'm going to click on that button, and that will start a 1 minute countdown clock. When it gets to, you'll see it get to, it'll be green, then it'll turn yellow, then it'll turn red. Red means time is up. So presenters, please watch that countdown timer. We want to make sure you finish in the time that's been allotted. So with that, I'm going to invite our first company, Doc, to present first. Cole will be the presenter. So watch the timer, Cole. And if you want to unmute yourself, if you're not already unmuted, give us 1 minute pitch.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine. So whenever you're ready.
All right, here we go. Thank you all very much for the opportunity to be here. I'm here to tell you a little bit about Doc. We're the world's first patient intelligence company. In essence, what we do is we arbitrage the market in healthcare by steering patients' medical intent to high quality physicians that basically top quartile physicians in terms of outcome and bottom quartile physicians in terms of price at a condition and procedure level of granularity. Now, we're able to do that because we collect data nobody else has in the industry across one of the largest doctor networks in Asia. We're in 8 countries. We have 23,000 doctors. We're a team of 70 industry professionals spread out across Asia. It's easy to talk about digital health theoretically, but we have done 3 proven pilots with leading insurers last year where our median cost savings was over 40%. Thank you.
Terrific, Cole. That's some pretty impressive data. Can't wait to hear more about it. All right. So next up, then we're going to go to iQuix. Gloria Wu is going to be presenting. So Gloria, take it away.
Hi, I'm Dr. Gloria Wu. I'm a board certified eye surgeon, retina specialist, and I'm founder of iQuix. The problem is 1.9 billion myopes, nearsighted people, 27% of the world population, 44 million in the United States, 244 million in Europe, 800 million in Asia. The costs are 200 billion for eyeglasses, contact lenses, medications, LASIK. The productivity loss is 450 billion when you include computer fatigue. Our app, iQuix, is a series of games, takes vision beyond the eye chart so that everyone can enhance their vision, like you and me, such like athletes who want to hit the tennis ball better, or people who want to just see better after a long day at the computer, Zooming all day, or getting rid of reading glasses at age 40 for a few hours. We work our brain-eye reflexes and change our ability to see. We did 170 patients, 97% improvement. We cost $6. Glasses cost $200. Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Gloria. Hey, I can tell you, I've been using your app, and I'll tell you if it improves my vision. I've been doing the classic game so far. So thank you for that, Gloria. All right, we're going to hear more about iQuicks later. Next up, we've got Goldilocks, the Goldilocks suit, with Shem presenting.
Hi, I'm Shem, and I'm a medical device engineer, and I've worked in hospitals for a number of years. And what we've started to see in hospitals is hospitals looking after acute and critical patients, but pushing lower care. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. My screen's black. Sorry.
No problem.
So what we're seeing is lower care patients are moving towards being looked after at home. So we're working with Smart Clothing to develop devices which are completely comfortable and useful for the patient and integrated into their life, and using algorithms to early detect potential issues that they're having. So our primary market that we're working on at the moment is in infant care and reducing the stress and anxiety that new parents feel when they bring a patient home from hospital.
Terrific, thank you. Hopefully you're able to see the screens after this, but looking forward to hearing more about the Goldilocks suit. It's pretty cool technology. All right, next up, we've got Krish, CompuSoft Services, with Nalam presenting, I believe.
Hello everyone, can you hear me?
We can, yes.
Yeah, myself Neelam presenting Krish CompuSoft Services. The product is PD Remote. PD Remote is a remote monitoring platform for the peritoneal dialysis patient having some kidney problems. And this product keeps the patient and the remote monitor, the doctors at the other end connected with each other all the time, improves the quality of life of the patient. And the clinical trials are done in US and India. And we have introduced machine learning in it, wherein the patient can take the pictures, and it will be deep learning will be applied onto it, and the early detection of the dialysis complications can be seen at. And it can detect complications related to catheter, dialysis bags, and edema. Thank you.
Thank you very much. PD is definitely exploding, and this is going to be important. So thanks for being here today. All right. Next up, we have Medcorp Technologies. Jacqueline is going to be presenting.
Hello, can everybody hear me?
We can, yeah.
Excellent. Okay, well, good morning, everyone, and thank you. I'm Jacqueline Savage, and I'm the founder and CEO of Medcorp Technologies, where we have developed a device to enable the early detection of infection in at-risk patients, such as those receiving chemotherapy for cancer treatment. More than 1 in 10 chemotherapy patients die from infection due to immunosuppressive side effects of the treatment, making infection one of the leading causes of death for cancer patients receiving chemotherapy. The primary indicator of infection is a rise in core body temperature or fever. The current monitoring of temperature in these at-risk patients is poorly managed due to inaccurate measurement tools or delayed diagnosis. At Medcorp, we have developed a patented technology which is worn non-invasively on the surface of the skin and enables continual, real-time and accurate core body temperature monitoring for patients both in the hospital and at home. With remote medical professional alerts via wireless technology, early signs of infection are able to be detected and medical intervention administered without delay. Thank you.
Thank you. We've seen lots of, or I've seen multiple core body temperature technologies, but I hadn't seen one like this before that was wearable and designed for, both in hospital and home. So pretty great stuff. Looking forward to seeing more. All right. Next up, we have Pareto Care with Talanch presenting.
Hi, my name is Talanch, and I'm the CEO and co-founder at Pareto Care. We at Pareto Care believe in a healthcare system that's predictive and preventive in nature rather than reactive. We're working towards evolving heart failure care management from reactive to predictive. We achieve this by allowing clinicians access to predictive information about acute heart failure decompensation over 30 days before. We're building wearable medical devices to continuously and non-invasively monitor over 20 hemodynamic parameters using a single touch point on the wrist. Some of these parameters include arterial blood pressure, cardiac output, stroke volume, and systemic vascular resistance. These are parameters that are currently measured invasively. We're currently raising an angel round and would love to connect with investors around the world. Thank you.
Well, if you're here to connect with investors, you are in the right place. There'll be a bunch of them here. So thank you very much. Looking forward to seeing the presentation. Again, we've seen lots of devices and things capturing information like this, but yours is doing more than others. And there were some pretty interesting things there. So looking forward to hearing the details later. All right, next we have Remedo, and that's Dr. Rashir presenting.
Hi. Remedo helps patients with chronic conditions by working along with their doctor. I'm Dr. Ruchir Mehra, co-founder and CEO. Thank you for this opportunity. 250 million patients in India have a chronic condition and they just get a few minutes with their doctor. Doctors can't provide the care they want to because they simply don't have the time. Remedo solves this problem through its Disha care plans. In Hindi, Disha means guidance. And that's what these plans do. They help the patient understand their condition, modify their lifestyle, improve compliance to doctor advice, track their health parameters and share them with their doctor, as well as their family members. We are now at thousands of doctors and hundreds of thousands of patients in India. Our go-to-market has been by working along with pharma companies. And we've been growing very fast. In the last 12 months, we grew 12 times. We're a seed-funded company. And our objective is to really make an impact toward these 250 million patients. Thank you.
Thank you. A lot of patients to make an impact on, and excited to hear more about how you guys are doing this. Guidance is what we need, so thank you. All right, next we have Smartrx with Ping Heng presenting.
Hello, good morning. I'm Ping Heng from Smartrx. Over 1 billion people in Asia does not have access to quality medical care in their countries. Our Smartrx is a telemedicine application that has teleconsultation with vital signs monitoring. Here it is integrated to our Smartrx drug dispensing machine to become a mobile clinic. Our future clinic can be deployed rapidly and at a much lower cost than building a physical clinic. It allows you to connect with qualified doctors, gives them instant vital signs data to help in their diagnosis, and allows immediate prescription of medicine to the patients anytime, anywhere. This should drastically reduce the inconvenience and cost associated with multiple trips to the hospitals for the patients and their caregiver. We shall show you our real product in our session. I look forward to sharing our story later. Thank you.
Thank you. You'll appreciate, I was on a podcast last week, and for World Health Day, somebody was asking whether or not we're going to see kiosks, especially in the developing world, that will be a future care clinic that looked pretty much just like this in terms of conceptually. So glad to see your company in the mix today. Thank you. All right. Next, we have Turtle Shell Technologies, and we're going to have Nirupa presenting.
Hi, can everyone hear me?
We can.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm part of Turtle Shell Technologies, and we have a product called Doji. So Doji is a contactless remote patient monitoring coupled with an AI-based triaging system. So our product basically consists of a sensor sheet that is placed under any mattress, and which then collects your vital signs, which includes your heart rate, respiration rate, blood pressure. And you can monitor this on either an app or the Sense platform, which is something that is deployed in hospitals for doctors and nurses to kind of monitor all their patients. So we do sell both to B2C directly to customers as well as to hospitals. We also do prescription-based sales to customers where doctors prescribe Doji for monitoring. We have deployed it in about 3,000 plus beds so far. Thank you.
Terrific. Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing more about this. We've seen early Sense and some other companies in the past that have, those other similar types of sensors or other contactless technology like radar technology. but you've made some really great penetration, and very excited to hear the Doji story. So thanks for being here. All right, next we've got Yellow Buds with Rahul presenting for us.
Hey, this is Rahul here. We are based out of the Bangalore. Okay, me and Shubha are trying to build an experience which makes the patients who go to the hospital feel safe and easy. And the idea here is pretty simple. Doctors and the healthcare providers are good at providing the services. What we are trying to bring in the experience, same experience as a shopping to the hospital. So you go to hospital, you have a lot of headaches just registering with insurance to making the payments or looking at the bills or making the choices. What we are bringing is bringing that visibility in an easily understandable manner to the patients. So there are different payments types, and also you have a lot of different kinds of departments in the healthcare, which is very cumbersome. What we are trying to do is seamlessly move the data across different departments from the patient's end to the caregivers, who are basically the doctors, and at the same time move this information to insurance or payments so that patient is relaxed. Thank you.
Boy, let me tell you, relaxed and going to the doctor don't always go together. So, so I got to tell you, Rahul, if you can make that experience better, we're all going to be very, very happy.
Thank you.
Great to have you here. All right, then, for our last presenting company for today, we have Zycare. So presenting for Zycare is Jody.
Okay, hi, I'm Jody from Zycare, one of the co-founders. We are an Indonesian-based health tech company. We are providing EMR solutions for hospital and clinics. We serve now about 80 hospitals and 2 clinics across the nations. We have potential of 3,000 hospitals in our country itself. Most of them are traveling into those systems that cannot provide it within all these written documents in terms of the medical records. This has been causing all the chaotic things for the doctors to give a predictive advice and also the treatments for the patients. We are partnering with our government to provide this technology to solve these COVID issues together. We've been providing them with 10% of the population of the COVID patients across the nations. Our go-to-market strategy is partnering with the corporate partners so we can join arms together to cross-sell to the hospitals. We are dealing with the banks, we are dealing with telco companies. We are also part of the IMERI, Indonesian Medical Research Institute, to justify all of our innovations that already in line with all the medical standards in Indonesia. So we are trying to give solutions and also provide a better healthcare service for the nations. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, super interesting technology. Really excited to see this. This is again an area. The idea of the personal health record and being able to bring this into care. I think is going to be really interesting to see this all work together. So, great job. Looking forward to seeing more about your solution. All right, so that's it for our startups. Again, we have 11 companies that are going to be presenting in our breakouts, the ones you just saw, to our judges. And for our judges, most of you have seen this before. I'm going to go quickly through this. And for our startups, this is going to be important as well. It's an opportunity to understand what we're going to be asking our judges about when they think of you. So for our judges, each company you're going to be seeing, we'd like you to keep some notes and information about those companies on the form. You have a judging form that was sent to you in advance, a link. If you have any trouble accessing your judging form, you can just message Sakina or Clarissa in the chat and they will help you find it, but you should have access to that already. For each company, before they present, you just click this little radio button. If it was doc, before their pitch, you click that. You tell us if you were previously aware of the company before MedTech Innovator, yes or no. And then you can score the company using the form. The first thing you'll see is the pitch notes. That's where you can keep your notes. No one else is going to see those but you. At the end of this, we will send you a message that has all of your notes and all of your comments for each of the companies you've seen today. So that's just for you. You can keep your notes there. Secondly, we have feedback that will be sent anonymously to the company. This is really important. This is an opportunity, as I said, because only about a third of the companies are going to advance. to our accelerator. And this is an opportunity for you to tell all of the companies what you thought of them in an anonymous way. So judges, please jot down some thoughts here, things that maybe you observed that could help the company do a better job next time, or that could help them with maybe a resource. So you might say, hey, you said you're going to be entering the market first in Indonesia. I think there's also a really great opportunity in India. I might be able to help you with that. Whatever you want to tell the company, you're welcome to say that there. Obviously, if it's something that requires follow-up, since it's anonymous, you'll probably want to put that somewhere else. But the point is, feedback, this is a good place to tell people honest feedback. Your business model was confusing. I think you're underpricing this. I think you're overpricing this. I think the market opportunity is much smaller than you think. Whatever you want to tell people, tell them in the feedback box. Then you're going to see some ratings questions. The first one, we ask you to rate the innovation of the technology, whether it's me too, just like everything else, incremental, it's a little bit better than what's out there, or transformational, it's really going to make an impact. We want to know overall, what's the likelihood of success? So not relative to the other companies presenting today, but just in general, do you think this company's got a really good chance of being successful? Give them a 10 or a 9 or an 8. If you think the company is really not going to be likely to be successful, give them a lower score. In terms of the factors that contribute to the likelihood of being successful, these are 5 of the different areas that we look at companies in. First is the value to the patient. Now, there might be a technology that's really more of an enterprise solution that won't have a direct value to the patient, but there's still an indirect value, perhaps. You can tell us on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being strong, 1 being weak, how this company offers value to the patient. If the company doesn't offer any direct value, that's fine too. We just want to know from your perspective, what kind of value does it offer? Same thing for the overall technical feasibility of the solution, the strength of the overall team, not just the presenter, the overall business model, how strong is their business model? And would you personally write a check, whether you're an investor or not? Do you think this company is one that is going to be able to raise capital from you or from anybody? So again, these are the areas we want you to evaluate these companies in. If you don't feel comfortable evaluating a company in a particular area, you can give them a 3. We won't ding them in either direction for that. That'll be a neutral score. For risk is the next thing. We want to know what are some of the highlights, judges, of the major concerns you have. So for example, you might say, hey, the cost of goods is not feasible, or they don't have the appropriate leadership. Whatever it might be, tell us what some of the risks are. Super crowded market, whatever you want to tell us. Doesn't have to be long. We're going to be taking these comments and not only looking at them later, we're going to be putting them up on the screen for all the judges to evaluate internally in our deliberation meeting at the end of the day. So we just want highlights here. Execution, what are the things that the company is doing well? We want to know, what do you think in general about this company? They got a great CEO, or, highly differentiated technology, great penetration in the market. The economics are really well thought out and so on. Validation, this is a place to jot down some thoughts about the stakeholders that the company is going to need to convince or going to need to please, and how well the company is really understanding that and validated that. So that's important for us here. Again, just jot down some thoughts. And then suggested resources. This is really important. If you have any ideas of things the company might need that we could help them with, we want you to jot down some thoughts here. So for example, you might say, hey, the company's interested in Japanese regulatory market access, and we have the ability to help them with that. Or the company is really interested in refining their go-to-market strategy overall, and we can help them with that. Or the company is looking for introductions to investors, and we can help them with that. Whatever it is, ask the company what they'd be looking for. So while you're in these breakouts, sometimes there'll be a MedTech innovator person like me in the room. Other times there won't. If there isn't, we ask the judges to please ask this question. What are some resources that you could use from MedTech Innovator? And startups, please, if nobody asked you that question, volunteer it on your own. You can say, hey, after you finish your pitch, you can say, it would be really helpful for us to have, some additional market access help in China. Or we could really use some help with our go-to-market strategy in general, or perhaps we're still trying to figure out our sales and our pricing, whatever it might be. Tell us some of the things that you could use help with. And then lastly, there's a button here that says, If advanced in the diligence process, would you be interested in a follow-up call? That means, judges, that if we choose to advance the company, we're going to want to probably do a couple follow-up calls to ask some additional questions. If you tick yes here, you might be one of the people that we contact for that. Any additional comments can go in the last box. And then if you're finished, you hit submit. That goes to our server. If you're not done, you hit save draft. It will give you a temporary name. You just hit OK and submit it or save it. It'll go up in the corner of your browser. You'll see a little 1 if it's the first time you've saved a draft, 2 if there's 2 drafts, 3 and so on. Later on, when you click that number, it'll pop open the form again. You can finish filling it out and then submit. Don't close your browser and quit, because those things are cached in your browser, and if you quit, you will lose them. So that's our judging process. And now to, again, overall explain these pitch sessions, I'm going to turn off my sharing here and just give you a quick rundown again how this is going to work. So as I mentioned before, we have all these great companies and we have people who've said they would like to meet with them. Startups, you're going to have 20 minutes in each of these breakout sessions. That does not mean we want you to give a 20-minute slide presentation. Most of our judges have already reviewed your slides in advance. That's why we asked you for them in advance. We do want you to go run through your slide presentation because it gives us a good structure, and there are some judges who won't have heard them before. But you don't need to spend even half of the time doing slides. 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes tops of your 20 minutes should be slides. Most of it should be judges asking you questions. So please try to run through your slides quickly. Time and time again, I say this, and time again, I get in a room and the startup gives me a 15-minute presentation. That's not what you're here for. If that was all we wanted, we would have asked you to record a 15-minute presentation and send it to us. Please try and give us like a 7-minute tops presentation if you can. Watch your time, put your phone down and time yourself. We want to ask you questions. That's why you are here, so that we can ask you questions. So that's what's going on. If you don't have a MedTech Innovator representative in the room, one of the judges who's experienced will kind of moderate this and start asking questions. Startups, when you go into these judging rooms, you might see 2 people, you might see 5 people, you might see 7 people, you could see 1 person. Whoever's there, they're there to hear your pitch. The first thing they're going to do is introduce themselves, and then you should start your pitch. Don't worry about waiting. Don't say, oh, I think there's some more people coming. Whoever's in the room is who's supposed to be in the room. Sometimes it'll be 2 people. So that's just fine. Give your presentation and then stop and give us plenty of time for Q&A. That's the agenda for today. I'm going to make sure I quickly mention again that we have Frederick, who is here, who you met before. He'll be in some of the rooms. You'll also have Sakina. She'll be in some of the rooms today. I'll be in some of the rooms. But there'll be 3 of the rooms that don't have MedTech Innovator representatives. So again, if you're in one of those rooms, that's just fine. Start your presentation. Judges, you guys ask questions. You're all good at this. Lastly, I will mention that for the startups, you're not going to be presenting in all 4 of these sessions. For 1 or 2 of them, you're going to have a break. While you have a break, you're going to be in our break room with the other startups that are also on break. This is a terrific time to get to know each other. All the startups you just saw present, all of them have resources. All of them have some form of funding. All of them have interesting teams and interesting technologies, and you may very well find somebody who can help you in the break room. So introduce each other, say, hi, I'm so-and-so, this is what I do, this is where I'm based, what do you guys do? Have you guys raised money recently? Whatever you want to ask each other, get to know each other in the break room. That's a great time for that. Network, all of your bios are in the bio book, which you will find in our chat down below. So that's it for the introduction here. This is the end for those of you on YouTube of our live stream. For any of you who are interested in these companies, you'll be able to look them up later on our website, or just Google them if you watch the YouTube video.